We're now joined in by our colleague Mr. Vivek Narayan, who's joining us on the broadcast. Vivek, unfortunate events, and now we also hear Senthil Balaji. He is confirming 31 people who have died, out of which 6 of them are children.
Exactly. This is the official confirmation that we have as of now. 31 people, 31 lives have been lost in an extremely unfortunate and an incident which could have been avoided in Karur in Tamil Nadu. This is Karur is about 50 kilometers from about 100 kilometers from Madurai, and so what has happened is that Vijay was supposed message saying that he was going to be there at in the morning,
Okay.
and he reached there well after noon, and there were people, Kada, everyone waiting there for him. And at the end of the day, the police, the system just couldn't hold the kind of surge which happened there. Who is to fault? We can look at all these things at a later date, perhaps, or maybe later in the day. But it is a fault of both the government the government of the day of the system and of Mr. Vijay himself, because you have to remember there is a backdrop to it. The government had asked him and set a set of 30 rules that he should follow before he sets on a rally. And Vijay had challenged it. He said, why is it that only 30 sets are for me? These sets, 30 sets of rules are not just for Mr. Vijay. It's there for Union Home Minister, for the Prime Minister of India, for everyone. These 30 sets includes the kind of policing, also includes the kind of discipline that a so-called VVIP has to follow when he or she is there. And somehow, sadly, they did not follow it. And if he says that he's going to be at 11 o'clock, he'd better be that 11, 12, 1, 2. He can't be coming at 11. He can't be coming well into the evening and causing such deaths. And remember, as I said, it's not just his fans. These are infants who have died, who have lost their lives.
Yes.
And
Yes.
31, as Ma Subramaniam had earlier told News 18, official death toll is 31. And we don't know how much more it will rise. And the number of people who've been injured, people who've been waiting in the sun and going there and waiting for Vijay. Listen, we all, there are no two ways about Vijay being a superstar or liking him or not liking him. But the fact that politicians have to act in a more responsible manner and the rule of the law is something
Okay.
which is for everybody, whether you are a
Right.
VVIP, whether you are a politician, you are in governance or not, is something which is again time and again being underlined, and it's just
Absolutely.
being flouted
And
in Tamil
Vivek,
Nadu.
even as we speak, the death toll has climbed to 33. We also are learning that the Chief Minister is going to be visiting Karur. He has also put out a tweet. If you could take us through the tweet of M.K. Stalin's. Also, we're learning of a tweet by Edapike Palani-Swami. If you can tell us about what these leaders are also saying.
To the tweets of these two ministers, but I'm sure it would be condoning the deaths of these individuals. But what one would want, at least at this very late stage, is not to pay politics, EPS, OPS, DMK. That can't be happening at this moment. This is a moment
Absolutely.
when you have to wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, this is
Right.
responsible for death of children. You've been challenging the order of a government who said that there are 30 sets of rules that you have to follow before you start a political rally. I mean, if you make a filmy statement out of that, that doesn't
And yet
work.
that was
I mean, people
absolutely.
love.
In fact, we would get Mr. A. Saravanan of the DMK to throw more light on that. Mr. Saravanan, there was a point that you were earlier making of Vijay tweeting out his presence at this rally in Karur early in the morning when he had not even left Chennai, and then arriving way beyond noon, where people who had assembled in the sun waiting for him, and then there was the surge in the crowd that the police could not manage. But so far, what we are learning is that the death toll has gone up to 33, sir.
Wow, my God. See, this is very heartbreaking. That 33 people are dead because they just wanted to have a glimpse of their star.
And 6 of them
And-
children, sir.
Oh my God, 6. Unbelievable. Oh my God. I don't know what to say. 6 children. we were seeing earlier how the children were also brought in for the rally. I don't know, six children. My God.
How did Vijay go on to flout
See,
each and every rule
yes,
that was
yes,
put
yes,
forth? You have
yes.
spoken about the 30 rules, 30 sets of rules, which are not just for one particular a leader, a politician. It is the same rule for the Prime Minister of the country even.
Yes, yes. See, that's what. See, they have made this deliberate ploy of making it late. He put out a tweet at that, please assemble at 8:45, and he starts from Chennai at 9 a.m. And
Yes.
after starting there, 6 hours. Today is a very hot day, and interior of Tamil Nadu, it's hot, and they were all waiting. See, when you are not there at that appointed time, that anticipation builds. So people who are here, the people who have come to the rally and the bystanders, they'll all be interested. Something is happening, they'll all be interested. There will be a surge. And
Absolutely.
let's also not forget that they have given a letter stating that there will only be 10,000 people. Why did they
Okay.
give? Why did they give this? That there will be only 10,000 people? Because if it is only
You're saying this
10,000
is for
people,
today's rally, sir?
yes, today's rally. Today's rally. I think the letter is there out in the public. Twitter's
Okay.
lot of people are tweeting that letter.
But from
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah,
rallies every week, did you not see a pattern of the kind of
yeah.
crowd surge
See,
that
see, that's
has
what.
been seen in
Yeah,
Vijay's rallies?
yeah. I'll come to that.
Yes.
You're right. See, the first instance again they flouted because they did not seek any permission to come to the airport when he started the first rally at Trichy. He did not seek anybody's permission to be there, but all of a sudden all of them were there at the Trichy airport. So from Trichy airport to the place where he is going, it took a lot of time for them. And for what? So that the drone shots could capture the crowd? What kind of narcissism is this? And for that, now 33 people are dead, including 6 children. For silly eyeball grabbing graphics, you have given 33 people away. And in the next rally, what did he do? They did not organize this kind of a thing. From Trichy to Nagapatnam, he went in 45 minutes because they did not organize anyone to intercept him at Trichy airport.
But my question still remains to you, sir. Why
Yes.
and how is Vijay being
Yes, I'm
allowed to
coming
do
to
this
that.
with and while you say that, we also have many more reactions that are coming in, including the Prime Minister of the country. He's also just put out this tweet. He's talking about the unfortunate incident during this political rally in Karur. In Tamil Nadu, he says it is deeply saddening. He says, my thoughts are with the family who've lost their loved ones, wishing strength to them in this difficult time, praying for a swift recovery to all those injured. And remember, there are over 50 people who are still in the hospital. Mr. Sarvanam, yes, go ahead, please. You're making that point.
You were asking, were not the rules in place? They violated the rules with impunity. They say only 10,000 people will there. We have made arrangements for 10,000 people at a particular point. But when he is not coming there at that particular time, what happens? Can we cancel the rally? See, even earlier, what they were saying? Oh, DMK is afraid of Vijay. They are giving so much of unbelievable conditions. And he made a stupid comment. Oh, if it is the Prime Minister, will you give such conditions? We gave even the Prime Minister's rally, Mr. Modi's rally, the same conditions. The police imposed those very same conditions. But he did that. Why did he do that? Because he wanted to play silly, stupid politics. And now 33 people are dead. Now the question is this. Who is responsible? Where is Mr. Vijay hiding?
But
Will he
Mr.
take
Saravanan,
responsibility for
I
this?
want to understand from you. I know it's a very, very difficult time. Right now, we have to look at the number of people who are still getting treated, and we are hoping that the death toll doesn't go up. But there are questions against the DMK government. There are questions on responsibility that needs to be answered of you, sir. We have all the guests who are with me on the broadcast. We have Tushar Gupta who's also making that exact same point. While the buck stops at Vijay, while he needs to answer what has he done here, so does the DMK.
Why should the DMK answer?
Why should you not, sir?
See, we will see. The thing is this. That's what. That is why the reason why I explained the background is this. How we have been giving them the conditions if they violate the conditions. See, if he comes at 8:45, if he had come at 8:45 a.m., would there be this many people? No, there would have been not even 10,000 people. If he had strictly followed the protocol, strictly followed the rule or strictly followed the undertaking that he has given, there would have been absolutely no problem.
Okay.
At Nagapattinam event, there was no problem. Nobody was there on the roads. Only at that meeting point, people were there. But that Nagapattinam was a flop.
Okay.
There were no eye-catching.
Tushar Gupta, would you like to come in here? Mr. Saravanan of the DMK says that Vijay and his party ended up flouting the rules, and that's why the crowd could not be controlled.
Then it's a crime against the state. It's very simple. If I am to believe Mr. Saravanan, if the rules were indeed flouted, if the NOCs were indeed flouted, if the entire approval process was bypassed or it wasn't adhered to, then it's a crime against the state. Look, it's not about DMK versus actor Vijay. This is a government, a state government, which gave a sanction for a political rally, as Mr. Saravanan saying that the permission was for 10,000 people. If there were more number of people, if the temporary structures or the arrangements were not proper, this is a crime against the state. And now the DMK government being, in power, they need to prosecute him. It's that simple. This is not something we can take lightly or we can just blame it on the crowd. In a political rally, unlike any other event, the buck stops at the organizers. The buck stops at the one who are giving these permissions as well. So if the ones who are giving the permission, in this case the DMK, feel that the rules have been flouted, then this is a crime against the state. It's that simple. And they should take it through a legal route because the families deserve justice. At this point also, we cannot restrict ourselves to, what the DMK said or what the TVK said. It's not about
Absolutely,
both of
and
them.
which is what
It's
I
about
asked
the
Mr.
people.
Saravanan. How many people are you booking right now? If the organizers are the one to blame, including Vijay, have they been booked? And Vijay has been a habitual offender. This is not the first rally that he has organized. Every week, every weekend, every Saturday he's been having these sabhas. Mr. Saravanan.
Yes, certainly. Action will be initiated. Whoever is responsible, however high they may be, they'll be brought to justice. Justice to the victims are very important. But right now, at this moment, what we are looking at is the relief measures. The Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has deputed Mr. Sendil Balaji. He is a former minister, a strong man of that area. And Mr. Vijay was ridiculing Mr. Sendil Balaji right now. And this is the same Sendil Balaji who's there on ground zero and overlooking the relief measures right now. We want to ensure, see, the top priority of the government is this. We don't want any more of deaths due to injuries. So the hospitals are mobilized, the doctors are mobilized, all the resources are marshaled to the area where this has happened. The health minister is rushing there, and Mr. Anbil Mahesh, who is nearby, is also rushing there. The top cop is already there. So this is going to be the top priority. The chief minister is monitoring the situation minute by minute, and he'll be there. Tomorrow morning he'll be there.
Okay.
He'll
Sumant,
monitor everything.
Sumant, I'd like to bring you in here. Mr. Saravanan says the priorities are in place. Right now, the priority is to look for any other people who might be injured to bring them to the hospital, and the entire framework is in place. Many more doctors are coming into Karur to ensure just that. Your views on the kind of statements that have come to fore so far?
I am a little perplexed as with what's going on here. The buck of maintaining crowd control and law and order stops at the door of the state government and local administration. It is their job to ensure that the situation is kept under control. If more than 10,000 people were getting into the meeting, they could have been stopped. The police has full and every right to say, you have got permission for 10,000 people. There are more than 10,000 people. Nobody else can come. That could have saved the situation. 33 lives could have been saved. And I'm amazed that there are people who are actually sitting here. And of course, Vijay is at fault. Vijay needs to be prosecuted. There is no question about it. Every meeting there have been talk about how some tragedy is likely to happen because of poor crowd control, because of flouting of the rules. This morning, for instance, they said he will be at Namakkal at 8:45. He was leaving Chennai at 8:45. So definitely Vijay and the TVK are at fault. Absolutely no doubt, and action must be taken. But it is also the state government's job. Whose responsibility is it to ensure law and order and crowd control? You cannot say,
Absolutely.
so Vijay is disobeying.
And that is a fair point. Mr. Vikram Singh.
1 minute.
Yes.
Vijay has been accused of disobeying the rules last Saturday. He has been accused of disobeying the rules the previous
Before
Saturday.
that, yes.
What action was taken? What
Absolutely.
action did the state government take?
Absolutely, he has been a repeat offender, and I continue to mention that. Mr. Vikram Singh, how is the DMK saying that the police under the DMK is appearing so powerless? If the
Absolutely.
if the okay go ahead was for 10,000 people, how did the police allow more people to assemble?
I find this to be totally unacceptable. The excuse that the hands were tied. The government can never take this alibi that the hands were tied. They have to act proactively and act effectively. In this case, probably they looked the other way, and this was totally a heart-rending tragedy and an avoidable one at that. All the rules that are supposed to there to regulate crowds, to have contingency plans, to have a backup for a backup, to have ambulances, CPR facilities, drinking water. I do suppose that nothing like this had ever happened. And if the permission was granted, it was for 10,000, then the police should have intervened straight away. More so when the Tamil Nadu police is one of the most articulate and the most tech-savvy police forces in the country. They should have used the drone technology to see and monitor the crowd movement, egress and ingress, and to have taken preventive measures right in the beginning rather than allow the crowds to take over the roads. And then it was a mayhem and a free for all, an avoidable tragedy, and the government cannot wash its hands. And then the police also. The police cannot also absolve themselves because they are supposed to make the foolproof and fail-proof arrangements. What to talk of fail-proof and foolproof arrangements? There are no arrangements. It is just a free-for-all. As you can see, that the people are trying to fend for themselves, and these are such. I mean, these will shake you. I think the visuals that you are showing just now, the people running helter and skelter for drinking water, for CPR, for basic rudimentary medical attention, that is not there. With this kind of a crowd, you had probably promised 10,000. Well, Mr. Vijay has a lot of explaining to do because the close coordination between the rally organizers or the Sabha organizers and the local police is an imperative. And on the basis of the mutual agreement, police arrangements and reinforcements are organized. But I suppose nothing like this has happened. Both the government and the police department are fully responsible for this heart-rending tragedy, and they can see how what better they could have done, what are the contingency plans, and what are the lessons drawn. 31 deaths. I mean, this is totally heart-rending, avoidable tragedy, and the police could have done much better. I can see that indeed they are not even in the gear that are expected to be in such situations. Obviously, the reinforcements were drawn in a great hurry, and they came in working uniform, not in a riot gear or in a gear that would be appropriate in crowd management. I was
Okay.
very disappointed to see the arrangements. I had expected a lot more, but yes, and this is just not the time for allegations, counter allegations.
Absolutely. And
First
if the
hand, yeah.
DMK is talking about priorities, then these priorities need to have been put in place. We have this latest tweet by Raksha Mantri Mr. Rajnath Singh also on this tragedy that is emerging out of Tamil Nadu. This is what he goes on to say, and I'm quoting, deeply anguished by the tragic accident at a rally in Karur in Tamil Nadu. The loss of innocent lives is truly heartbreaking. My heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families, praying for the speedy recovery of those who are injured. Unquote. Mr. Sarvanan, in fact, I'm told that we don't have Mr. Sarvanan anymore. Tushar, would like to come to you. Does it look like a case of the DMK turning its back on another one of Vijay's rally, considering he is a political opponent and they did not want to give two hoots to whatever is happening in the rally, considering this is week after week, these rallies that he continues to be a part of?
Look, the rallies will go on. It's the election year. Next year's election year in Tamil Nadu. But this is not about what the DMK or the TVK feel. This is a crime against the state. And the state also failed to discharge its duty. It's that simple. We don't have to put a political lens on it. The DMK was responsible for giving the permissions for ensuring that no such incident happens. The police was with the DMK, being the state government. TVK flouted all the norms. This is a crime against the state, and the state needs to act. I'll look at it very simply. I don't want to get into the part where, TVK was saying that the DMK is not allowing it to do political rallies and stuff like that. It already happened last time. My problem is it already happened. A person lost his life in Vijay's rally. That was also happening in a peak hot day. And arrangements should have been made. At least the organizers should have been more careful this time. The police should have been more careful this time. But to take Sarvanan's point from DMK, if it's a crime against the state, will you book Vijay? The buck stops at Vijay. That's what I'm saying. Will the state government go ahead and say, no, actor Vijay, the organizer, is responsible, we are going to book him? Or will they also look at the whole political dynamics there? The problem is every time this happens, and this happened once very long ago when in a political rally, I think it was Delhi, when a person hanged himself from the tree. Everyone was like, oh, it is something to do with the crowd. It is something to do with the political parties. It's never about the political parties. This is somewhere the state has to step in, discharge its duty, be responsible. And this is where the organized need to be responsible as well. If both of them cannot find a balance, if both of them cannot do their duty, both are failing the people of Tamil Nadu at the end of the day. And the people at the end are the ones dying.
Right. Sumansi Raman, what do you think has been happening here? The people who are responsible for organizing these rallies for Vijay, I believe they're the same ones. They have so far remained scot-free from any kind of action. If at all the DMK is wringing its hand in the air and they are saying that they were flouting the norms. What was the police doing is the big question. But how have the organizers managed to remain scot-free so far? Because again, going back and repeating that question, this is not the first time such a controversy has happened, although the expanse of the tragedy this time is really massive.
Yeah, it is. And look, there have been a couple of FIRs that have been filed earlier, but nothing beyond that has happened. So I think probably the government felt that if they actually crack down on the TVK for these violations, then that may end up giving more sympathy to actor Vijay, who could exploit and then claim victimization by the government. So probably they didn't act on that occasion. But I think today the difference was, look, the crowds were massive. The crowds in Namakkal were huge but in the morning, but the crowds in Karur were absolutely massive. And at some stage, the local administration should have figured out that something like this could happen and prevented more people from coming in. Now, whether that was done, it was attempted, it was not done. I think an inquiry, obviously, there will be an inquiry into this tragedy, and that will tell us whether the police actually tried to prevent more people from coming in to the venue. But again, if somebody has been given permission to speak between 11 and 12 in the afternoon or 2 and 3 in the afternoon and turns up at 8 in the night, what prevents you from stopping him? You are the police. I've never understood this. To say
Absolutely,
that
and
we
why
can't
could
do
he not
anything,
have been
we are
escorted
helpless.
out? If at all he did not
Yeah,
maintain that
absolutely.
timeline, why could he not have been escorted out?
Look, you've seen so many of these election meetings where the code of conduct kicks in and people say, look, I cannot speak beyond this time. And they just say, have a namaste and they walk on.
Yes.
Leaders do that. So
Yes.
you could easily have said, look, I'm sorry, the rules of the permissions granted have been violated. I cannot make a speech. I'm just, doing a namaste and moving on. The police could have insisted on that. So this is definitely Vijay and the TVK need to answer. They need to be prosecuted for what has happened, for this huge tragedy. But equally, the state government is also answerable, particularly the local administration, the Karur district superintendent of police, the district collector. All of them need to answer how they let this thing happen. This was something which people have been talking about as a possibility for the last several weeks. It is not that this is the first time at a Vijay rally people have thought that some disaster could strike. They've been speaking about this for weeks together, and nothing was done to ensure that these rallies were conducted in a more
And
organized manner.
it's not just the people or the politicians or the senior leaders. Tushar, I'd like your inputs on this. It's also the High Court that had underscored that there are safety lapses at TVK rallies. Because remember, this is not the first rally that one is talking about, how we are seeing similar rallies over the course of these several weeks. Every week, every Saturday, Vijay holds these rallies. This was pointed out to, in fact, that damage to property that one is learning of at one of Vijay's rallies. Of course, there were FIRs against his bouncers. That's one controversy. But there have been how security lapses have been pretty much in place, and that has been mentioned by the High Court.
Absolutely. And see, this is what happens. If the DMK were to act against him in the sense they would have restricted the crowd at his rallies, for example, the narrative or the question would have been, oh, is the DMK trying to sabotage Vijay? So in our country, whenever it comes out about the question about safety or about the people comes up, it's always prioritized less than the political parties. That is where things go wrong. Today also we are worried about what happens between DMK and TVK. We are not asking a very simple question. There are still a few months to go for the elections in Tamil Nadu. Actor Vijay undoubtedly will do more political rallies. What about the arrangements then? What about the permissions then? What about the administration then? The DMK cannot shake off the responsibility entirely saying, oh, we warned him, he does not listen. If he does not listen, I'm again stressing this. It's a crime against the state, book him. Don't worry how it will play out in the election. If he's risking the life of the people of Tamil Nadu for his political points, then he's
Yes.
committing a crime against the state. It's that simple. You cannot beat around the bush saying,
And it's
oh, but
it's the
this happened, that
court.
happened.
It's the court, and Mr. Vikram Singh, your inputs are needed here. It's the court that has ordered the government to frame these rules for such rallies, to frame uniform rally safety rules. It has been ordered by the court. That needs to have been put in place. Advance payments that were suggested by the court. Also, accountability of organizers. Once again, the organizers' role becomes of absolute and paramount importance here. All of these things should have been looked at.
This adds a whole new dimension to the horrible, avoidable tragedy. It's bad enough that the court had to intervene, and worse still, that the solemn orders of the court were not implemented, what to talk of in letter, but not even in spirit. So, with this kind of callousness that I choose to defy the instructions given by the Honorable Court, I choose to look the other way. Otherwise, had there been a SOP or some kind of a mechanism to ensure that the crowds are managed, proper police arrangements are made, contingency plans are in positions, and the contingency routes and escape routes are there, this tragedy was totally avoidable. You had the huge Kumbh Mela, and yes, it went off flawlessly. But this was a totally avoidable tragedy, and you said the star narcissism. Vijay ji is doing samagams, what is the sabhas and rallies. Well, you are certainly welcome to it, but you cannot absolve yourself responsibility. You have to take the permission from the local administration and the police have to do a survey, do a rehearsal, and then, if required, do another rehearsal if there is any flaw or any hitch that has emerged during the course of rehearsal. Be in constant touch with the organizers and have a fair assessment, both intelligence, ground, and social media monitoring about and assess the crowd that is likely to come, and then make the police arrangements. Again, I would say fail-proof, foolproof, and also the add-on facilities that the civic authorities need to do: drinking water, medical and health, emergency services, and whatever you can see that the contingency plans cater for everything that you never taken by surprise. And here, I'm sorry to say, you were caught on the wrong foot. When I say you, I would mean the police, the local administration, the medical department were caught on the wrong foot. Nothing seems to be in a position. People in total disillusion, disarray, begging for medicine and CPR. I mean, it will bleed anybody's heart to see these visuals. But I wish we draw our lessons, refrain from leveling allegations. This is a tragedy that needs to be addressed by one and all.
Right, absolutely. I'd request my guests to stay with us. We are getting some more important voices that are putting out condolences on social media. I will put out this tweet of the Home Minister's also. He too is talking about how he's deeply pained by the tragic loss of lives in the Stampede in Karur in Tamil Nadu. Heartfelt condolences to the families of the deceased. I pray to the Almighty to give them the strength to bear this grief and for the speedy recovery of the ones injured. That is what the Union Home Minister Amit Shah is saying. We also are hearing from the Raj Bhavan in Tamil Nadu, where Governor Arun Ravi has put out this tweet: deeply pained and anguished by the tragic loss of innocent lives, including children, during a political rally in Karur. My heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families in this time of grief and prayers for the speedy recovery of those injured. Sumant, we are now learning from the DMK that the Chief Minister is going to be visiting Karur tomorrow. He's already got 2 of his ministers on the job, and we heard Senthil Balaji. So far, the response from the DMK, other than how they are trying to shift the blame only on Vijay as if it has got nothing to do with them, how do you see this response?
No, I think that's expected because they have a very, very powerful ecosystem on social media, and they have complete control of the mainstream media. So the mainstream media will only put out whatever viewpoint that the state government would like them to put out, what the DMK would want them to put out. So that's to be expected. But look, common sense will tell the public that the responsibility for ensuring law and order rests on both sides. It is with a political party, which is the organizer of the meeting, to ensure that all cooperation is provided to the police. And at the end of the day, the buck stops with the police, with the state government, who have to ensure that law and order and crowd control are maintained. Now, it's all very well to say the organizers violated rules, but they've been violating rules for the last several weeks and nothing has been done. So, why did you believe that they will not violate the rules today? And if the crowd promised permission was given for 10,000 people, and let's say when the crowd swelled to say 15,000 or 20,000, why was no action taken? That is really the point.
It's
Now,
also the failure
clearly
of
the
the
action may
DMK
not have been
government, because
taken.
I also wanted to again bring in that point of how this order came in from the High Court, that you need to ensure a safety when it is about these rallies, and that was a response wholly and solely of the state government. They failed in implementing those rules correctly.
Absolutely. I think that, look, if this was the first time, you could say, look, how can the state government anticipate that Vijay would violate the rules? He's been accused of violating the rules. You filed FIRs against him. Your own government has filed FIRs against him earlier for violating the rules. And now you go and say, we didn't know that he will violate the rules and he violated the rules and it's all his fault. Of course, it is Vijay's fault. Of course, it is the TVK's fault.
Yes.
But it is also the state government, local administration that should have prevented this tragedy. There is no doubt at all. And trying to blame only Vijay for this tragedy is not the right approach at all. But that is what is expected from the ruling party, and that is the playbook that you'll see played out on social media. Accusing Vijay of having caused this entire tragedy without, without delving too deeply into the role of the local administration or the state police.
While we talk about how many of these very popular and senior veteran actors who have gone into the political arena of the state of Tamil Nadu, there is one name that comes, which is that of Rajnikant. He too has in fact tweeted about this tragedy, and he says the news of the loss of innocent lives in the incident that occurred in Karur shakes the hearts and causes immense grief. My deepest condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. Comfort to those who were injured. So these voices are trickling in. We're also learning that ADP Palani Swami is going to be leaving for Karur tomorrow. The DMK chief and the chief minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, is also going to be in Karur tomorrow. So all of these details are also slowly trickling in. We're also learning that Mr. Stalin will be holding a consultative meeting at the Secretariat, and